So hello and welcome everybody. Really lovely to see all of you, and we've got a real treat in store for us this afternoon, especially any shoeaholics out there, or people who've got problem feet like me. I used to love shoes, and now I have a love-hate relationship with shoes because I have very sore feet. So the whole thing has turned into, you know, a delight to go shoe shopping to get some gorgeous pair of shoes that's going to complete an outfit, to a sort of a horror show for me, often going out and cramming my feet into dreadful things that I know I'm going to hobble around in and never wear. So the solution, of course, is to find shoes that actually fit your feet, but also, as my dad would say, fit your head, because he used to say, yes, they're lovely, do they fit your head? And fitting your head is all about whether you feel that they really make the most of your outfit and that you love wearing them. So we've got Lisa Kay with us. She is the founder of Sole Bliss shoes, and we've got a lovely opportunity to talk to her. And you've also got an opportunity to talk to her, possibly in a group, but also afterwards, when, if you have any questions, you can pop them into the chat function and she will answer those questions for you. So please don't hold back. She's here for you, and she will respond to any questions that you've got. So welcome, Lisa. Lovely to see you.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Well, it's an absolute delight. So I'm going to start. I talked to you on Friday a little bit, and I know that your sort of transition has been from belts to handbags to shoes, and you know, that's been the evolution over your time working in, you know, with leather and so on and so forth. So tell us a little bit about the development of your shoe business. I think your shoe business actually started about 20 years ago. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then from there into Sole Bliss. How did that work?
So it started in 1999. Previously, we had been making handbags for shoe companies, other shoe companies, big international companies. And we just decided that we had great contacts through our tanneries that we were using, great amount of knowledge of leather goods. And we thought we'd just go for it, really. It started very small. It started in the summer season with sandals and big clumpy wedges at the time. And it was a small success, and we gradually grew and grew from that. So that was a different collection, and that was, as I say, 20 years ago. Since then, we have been running a business that sells to shops all around the country and abroad. So just a wholesale company, if you like, so that there are stockists all around the country. And then I'd say about 9 years ago, I started growing a little bunion on my left foot. And it's not really big, but it really bothers me. It's sore, it's uncomfortable. And I noticed together with that at the same time, really, that all the shoes I used to enjoy wearing myself the most, because they were the most comfortable, the ones that I cut in the highest way, the patterns were the highest, but they were always the most popular. And so I started looking into, I wondered how many other people were sort of suffering like I was. And I was horrified, actually, that there were millions and millions of ladies out there who had the same pain, different types of pain. And actually, the only shoes I found on the market to accommodate that were quite frumpy, actually, nothing pretty, nothing feminine. So I started thinking about the materials that I would want to put into a collection of shoes, which gave people who suffered with their feet an option to feel really glamorous and stylish as well as comfortable. And that was the beginning of Sole Bliss.
Wow. And so Sole Bliss, you started that, and did you decide to have that on a different business model? So you would not be wholesaling those shoes, you'd be selling them.
Correct. So at the beginning, we hadn't decided on anything. We just, we actually spent nearly 5 years developing the brand. So testing the materials, had lots of market research, evenings and days, even had ladies coming along and literally standing on pieces of foam to tell me which ones were the most comfortable under the ball of their feet. And then as we gradually developed it, we put different elements into what we now call our technology. We were thinking, how do we want to go ahead with this? And we thought the best way, it's probably like yourself, Tricia, is actually talk directly to your customers, tell them how you feel about something, tell them why something's going to be really special and comfortable. Yes, and just be direct and offer really good service. You can always offer good service when you're in charge and there's no nobody in the middle really. So that's why we went along this route really. Yeah.
And you did it on Friday, and I picked you up on it a little bit. You say about we a lot, but yeah, you are the driving force, aren't you? You're the person who's very much in charge of this whole process.
Yeah, so it's my baby. Yes, I put, I design, I put the collections together. I always ask people's opinions, and actually we sometimes have market research via emails and ask people what they'd like to see, or do they like that. Not too often, because we like to say, well, we think this is going to be really fashionable for the season, or this is a new look, or this is a really comfortable look. The we came at the beginning really when we were testing all the components. I referred to podiatrists, actually to the University of East London, the podiatry department, just got a real feel for how deep the shoes needed to be, how accommodating they needed to be, what was a real no-no, what was going to be absolutely fine. And they were recommending the shoes that we started with for occasions, because we started with heels, and they didn't want to openly say, yes, this is the best thing to wear all day long. But as we've gone along, we've introduced all different styles. So I think they'd be happier with the trainers and the flats and that sort of thing that we're doing nowadays. So.
Absolutely. And I'd really like you to tell me how Sole Bliss shoes are different from, if I go into, I don't know, any shoe shop that I might decide to go into and try shoes on, which occasionally I do, but they're invariably really horribly uncomfortable. So I don't know whether you've got a shoe there and you can just talk us through it.
Yes, actually have a sling back here. Okay. So this is a little sling back. Actually, the sling back is a point to start with, because many women who have wider feet or bunions feel actually that they can never wear a sling back, because they feel that they're going to be pushing out their shoes so much that this is going to flap all over the place. So what we do specifically with our shoes is we offer a depth and a width on the shoes at the front, which hopefully we disguise quite nicely. They're about 2.5 to 3 sizes bigger than an average shoe of that size, but we pitch them completely at the back, which means normally a lady who is finding that all shoes are too tight would go up a few sizes, and then they'd find at the back they'd just be enormous, they'd be slipping out of them. So the first thing that we do is we make sure that at the back of the shoes they are neatly fitting at the back of the ankle. Under the foot we have 3, you can't really see it, but if I squidge in here, hopefully you see a little bit of depth and a little bit of padding going on. And there are 3 layers of foam under there, one for shock absorption, the outside one, middle one to contour around the shape of your foot, and the top one for cushioning, so ultimate cushioning. And then in every shoe, we have this little, I don't know whether you can see here, we have a little area here, which we call a bunion bed. Now, you don't need to use it if you don't have bunions, but it basically stretches. I'm just going to see if I can do it. It stretches really, really, really far out. But if you don't need it, it reverts straight back. So it accommodates all width feet here. And sometimes people have one foot that needs it, one foot that doesn't, one foot that's wider than the other, and that's the bunion bed. So this is the technology. In our closed back shoes, we also have a little anti-pronation device which would sit there, and it holds a foot in the right position. If you have flat feet or bunions, it just makes sure that you've got your foot in the right place and you're not pronating yet.
Pronating means rolling in, doesn't it?
Rolling in, yes. Yeah, so rolling in, so holding your foot in the correct position. Yeah. For the trainers, it's different. For the trainers, it's just it's an anatomically shaped footbed that goes all the way along your foot. So you've got touch points all the way along your foot, and that's what makes a shoe comfortable. It's all this padding, cushioning, touch points. It makes it supremely comfy.
I'm going
to sales pitch.
Well, it's a brilliant sales pitch, but I'm going to mention a pair of shoes that I found an absolute godsend last summer. They're yours, obviously, and the reason why I want to mention these in particular is because they have a heel, as you can see. Now, I have certain things that I really can't wear unless I have some kind of heel. And I would say that all dresses, all skirts, and all, I have a couple of sort of like jumpsuity type things all in one. I've got a really nice LK Bennett one that I bought, quite silky, quite nice, lovely for evening. And I look horrendous in skirts, dresses, and that silky jumpsuit without a heel, because I've got quite thick ankles and stumpy legs. And without the benefit of some height in my shoes, those things just make me look, well, matronly would be a kind description almost, you know, just awful. So lo and behold, I got a pair of these from you, and I was very, you know, big fingers crossed that they would work, and they were brilliant. And I wore them a lot last summer. Now, let me tell everybody why they were brilliant. If I show you them like that, you can see that my foot, despite having this amount of heel, is flat in these shoes. So I'm not having the agony of my toes being pressed back up like that, because I've got arthritis in my toes. First problem. The other problem that I have is that one foot is a size 5 and the other foot is a size 4.5. So what I love about these is that you've got an adjustable strap on it.
Yeah.
So usually if I get slingbacks, they've got a little elasticated bit here, which of course stretches, and then I walk out of the left shoe and the right foot is fine. With these, I can adjust this strap and actually get it to be exactly right. So I wore these a lot last summer. And what was brilliant about them was that, you know, I could go out to dinner with them and I could actually not go in flats and then change when I got to the restaurant, and just walk or stroke hobble to my seat, sit down, and then possibly have to hobble to the loo every now and again. I could actually walk into the restaurant serenely, sit down and serenely walk to the loo, and then serenely walk out of the restaurant. It was brilliant. So they really work for me. And I can't tell you, you know, it's years almost. I would say it's good 5, 6, possibly longer years that I've actually been able to buy something like that. So I did want to mention that, because it picks up on all the issues that I have: arthritis, one foot bigger than the other, that tendency to just find normal shoes utterly unbearable. So, you know, well done you. And I've got some others to show people here in a minute or two, but let's go back to the issue of problems, because I'm sure quite a lot of people watching this don't have the problems I have, and I don't have bunions. So what actually causes bunions, and what are some of the other problems that you are as a person who's fitting, you know, problem feet, you have to be aware of? Tell us a bit about that.
Well, bunions, we have actually done quite a lot of research on this and reading about it before we launched. Bunions are generally a predisposition, so they're generally hereditary, actually. There's a lot of talk in the press about how women only have bunions because they wear dreadful shoes. I think the truth is they generally have them because there is a familial predisposition to having them, and then probably it's worsened because they wear restrictive footwear, or they walk for miles, or whatever it is that is repetitive or causes them. And what actually happens is your big toe starts to move towards your other toes, and the long bone in your foot, your metatarsal, actually veers towards your other foot. So you get this angle and you get this bump at the bottom of your big toe, on the side of your big toe, which can be incredibly painful. I mean, it isn't always painful. Sometimes small bunions are really painful and you would hardly notice them. Other times people have very large joints, you know, bumps on their joint there, and they don't hurt at all, but they're just inconvenient. So there's lots of other reasons for the bunions to form. Often it's something involving laxity in your ligaments, even when you're pregnant, because your ligaments become loose. Women often start to grow them then, and it's just because of this loosening. And once things are loose, they move in the direction that you don't really want them to. So that's an example. There are all sorts of other causes for them, but we find it's not only the space that you need to accommodate these bunions. It's actually the comforting under your foot that often accompanies that, and companies, for example, obviously arthritis, plantar fasciitis, which affects a lot of women, where their heel is really hurting and all the way along their foot it's very painful. So it's just this cushioning, this triple cushioning, which helps those sorts of things. And actually we find that we don't sell shoes just to people who suffer with their feet, but moreover, they're a little older, they've grown a little tired on their feet and they just want some comfort. And actually some very young people who just want to be bouncing around all together, you know, relative to the hard floors and so on. But lots of conditions often end up requiring the same type of comfort. So yes, we had no idea actually when we started, but we have lots of letters from people, even Morton's neuroma, people who suffer with their nerves. They say that these are really good for them as well. So we started in one place, but we've realised that actually we're accommodating a lot of people with a lot of different foot issues, which is normal when you think about how many miles and miles and miles we walk in our lifetime. You know, we're always on our feet, you know, so it's a natural progression really. So yeah.
Well, what I love about your shoes is that they are not only supremely comfortable, and they are, and I say I've got 5 pairs, they are also incredibly stylish, and you know, which is why I love these navy blue wedges. And you're the shoe designer, aren't you, Lisa? So tell us a little bit about your approach to shoe design, because you know, you're accommodating quite a lot of needs there, aren't you, in terms of shoe design?
Yeah, so it's really, I suppose, a long background in doing this, but I suppose it's come from a real interest in fashion. That's where it started. So always looking at the trends of the moment, not obsessively so that you know, we're not thinking about our audience and thinking about what is comfortable, but trends definitely, always colours, shapes of the foot. But the shoe business is actually really technical. So we always, in fact, we have a balance in my shoe design. I have, on one hand, the trends and colours and fashion, and on the other hand, I have actually the technical styling and fit, and the fit is the most important always, and it comes from a last. And a last is, well, it starts life as a block of wood. It gets shaved and moulded and pieces added and then shaved off. And basically it's what you wrap the leather of the shoe around ultimately once you start producing them. And that's the most technical. It's just getting the absolutely perfect shape to start with. And then everything follows. But shoemaking, well, our shoes, for example, they touch about a minimum of 50 pairs of hands in the process of being made. It's a long old process, and it requires a very selective and trained team to do it, and a lot of trust in every aspect of the production. But yes, starts life as a block of wood and goes from there, really, is the answer.
That's absolutely amazing. And what would you say are your most popular? So you must, as a business, we know what our top sellers are in terms of makeup. So you must know what your top sellers are. What do you sell most of?
I think there's probably 3 areas. There's a heel, which is a block heel with a little almond toe, and we find that that's often a starting point for people who want to try our heels. Over lockdown, or as lockdown started, we were thinking, well, we had already, as you know, started producing flats. We decided, yes, we started life as a heel company because we thought women couldn't find these heels, but it went on from heels to flats. And so I think probably the best seller still is a variation of the shoe that you have, Tricia, the little shoe with a buckle and a flat ballerina. And then last year, we also started something completely new, which was the trainers. And that definitely is, I would say, the most popular shoe at the moment, just because it takes you everywhere, actually. You know, it takes you can look luxe with silver laces, or you can pair it down or dress it up. And I think just over the last year, because people have needed to wear something on their feet, really, that carries them from the house where they're spending a lot of time to their walks and so on. So it is, and we have 18 variations on those now. So we started life in August, and so I'm sure it's exactly the same as you. You start on one hero model, and then it just sort of grows. It grows by demand, really. So
yeah. I mean, I'll show the ones that you've just mentioned, just so that everybody knows. So these were also my new best friends last summer. I got them in pink and in navy, and they've got all of this cushioning. You know, what's lovely is that inside they are like walking on air. I mean, on clouds. They're just gorgeous. Plus, another big bonus for me is that they've got this back, which again, because it's not, you know, can you see how my small left foot is fine with these, it doesn't slip off the back. And I love the bright pink because I thought they were just so smashing, and it's a colour I wear a lot. I got them in navy as well, but they were just brilliant. And then you've also sent me, and I will show you, so these are your miracle trainers, aren't they?
Yeah,
and again, they've got all the technology and everything inside, and a handy zip. Now somebody said, you know, I can still lace my shoes, thank you very much, I don't need a zip. But you know what, who wants to lace shoes all the time? It's really handy. And I've got silver laces on those, which are nice. And you've just sent me these, which are another version of a trainer. So lovely summer shoe, again, gorgeous, very, very comfortable. And I'm also going to just show these as well, because oh my goodness, look at these, aren't they gorgeous? So these are new for you? Are they these?
Yes. We launched them last year. We launched them for a winter collection, but we had to add sky blue this time because, well, as you can see today, actually, favourite colour and really easy to wear. So yes, this is our newest edition. So
yeah. So obviously it's classic loafer shape, and again, because it's got all the, you know, all that design feature inside to support the foot. And I've just literally, you just literally sent me these, and I've tried them on, and they are divine. They're like putting on, well, they're, you know, they're like putting on gloves, really. And I do absolutely love the colour of those. They're just absolutely gorgeous. So tell us a little bit about lockdown, because obviously we as a business have also gone through lockdown over the last year, which has been quite surprising and interesting in terms of how it's impacted on us. So how has lockdown impacted on you?
I think probably we're fairly similar in terms that at the beginning we were just really very concerned about how we were going to operate, keep our staff safe, keep our customers happy with their service. It was, you know, it was nerve-wracking, really. However, I think ultimately over the period, I actually consider myself very lucky, because what has happened is we've kept in touch with our customers, and I think people appreciate that buying online can be very seamless, actually, so long as you're choosing the right company, people who care about delivery and service and so on. And so we have been able to tell our customers, try these shoes, see how easy it is to return them if you don't like them, or if you want to try a different size or a different colour. And I think it's probably progressed the business a lot actually. I think it's made people aware of how easy it can be to buy online, and yes, it's been, I feel guilty almost to say it, but it has been it hasn't been a bad year. It's been a good year for our business, simply because I think people's shopping habits have just changed so much, and the trust element has changed so much. So ultimately, it's you know, from last March to this March it's a different world away, really. And I'm sure you've probably experienced the same sort of horrors and worries and concerns, and actually the same, you know, the same outcome after. And it's a lot of work, isn't it, Tricia? I mean, really a lot of work. You know, it's just making sure that you're keeping everybody safe, trying to do a good job, trying to keep in communication with people, and also ensuring that your supply chain is seamless. So I would say I've probably worked most days of every week for about a year, and I'm very much looking forward to a holiday at some stage.
Oh, yeah. I hope you'll be able to have one, but that's a really interesting part. I mean, yours and mine businesses are part of a story that is being told very widely, and that is that the fact that shops have been forced to shut, physical shops have been forced to shut, has probably, I think you said to me the other day, advanced the cause of online shopping, you know, at a stroke. You know, something that was evolutionary, really going along, you know, people were becoming more and more comfortable with shopping online, were suddenly forced to shop online because there was no other way. And therefore, for you and I, who have predominantly an online business, it's actually been interesting to see the response. And the other challenge that you have, that I think we have a similar challenge, is the age group to whom we appeal most. I'm sure you sell your shoes across the age range, but there must be more older women that buy your shoes than not. And the same with us, you know, we are very much targeted to that. And I think that older women have perhaps been more hard to convince and more reluctant to test makeup buying and shoe buying online, because it flies in the face of what we're used to. But for us, and also for you, fortunately, they have been open to trying it, and then have discovered that it actually works quite well. And like you, we have an extremely generous returns policy and a very quick and fast process for you know, replacing things or refunding and so on.
Yes.
And you do.
It's very important.
Very
I think. I beg your pardon. I was going to say it's very important. It's very important to get your processes in place to make sure that your customer service is spot on, and yes, that you deal with exchanges, you deal with refunds, you deal with any queries. It's a big part of our business, actually. You know, just talking to people, picking up the phone, making sure that, you know, if people prefer to talk to somebody instead of just tap away online, it's very much part of our how we run our business.
Yeah, and it makes all the difference. And obviously, well done you, because you've you know, you've got through the year, you've succeeded, and you've grown despite all those challenges and setbacks, and having to work 7 days a week. I have 7 days a week, I hasten to add. I have 2 daughters. I make them work 7 days a week.
Excellent.
And how do you see the future? You know, what are your thoughts about going forward?
Well, we're very excited about the business for the future now. What lockdown has allowed us to do is try different styles and try different constructions for shoes. So now, from trainers, we also produced a boots range. We're now into our sandals for summer. Actually, I'm going to show you just really quickly, because they're so. These are the shortest on the top, but they're this sort of thing, sort of pretty things, and things that just really, you know, finish our collection off. So we feel now that the same technology can be rolled into all types of shoes, all types of boots. So we're excited. We're excited for the future.
And you do a brochure as well. You sent me this brochure, and it's great because you do cover all the bases now. You've got high heels, you've got medium heels, you've got small heels, you've got kitten heels, you've got block heels, you've got pointy toes, you've got rounded toes, you've got square toes, you've got trainers, you've got flat shoes, you've got you know, you've got loafers, ballet flats, and so on and so forth. You really do the whole range, and are delicious colours and lovely soft leather. So you know, they're a beautiful product for sure. So full of admiration for you, Lisa, and they are lovely shoes. So let's come to Bryony and find out what questions you've got for Lisa.
Yeah, we've had quite a few questions. We'll try and get through as many as we can. So first of all, Lisa, a question from Patricia. She was wondering, do Sole Bliss trainers, are they just a fashion item, or can they also be used as a proper sports trainer?
The answer is we don't recommend them for sports. They are more of a fashion item. However, they can be, I mean, I actually wear mine all day, every day. And so you can walk for miles in them, you know, you can dart around in them, but we're not selling them as a sports trainer.
Perfect. And then Carol's asked a question. She said, can you put orthotics into the shoes? I wonder, can you, or because they've already got everything built into them, do they need an extra kind of orthotics inserted? Would you suggest that?
We don't make them for orthotic wear. We find that if it's just off-the-shelf orthotics that people want to put in, we would recommend not to use those and to use our anatomically contoured footbed instead. However, if it's for a long wear, you know, you want to wear them all day and you always wear your orthotics and want to, there is a potential, because the laces undo, they're very deep and accommodating, so it's always worth trying, but you cannot take out the insole of the shoe to do so. So yes, why not try it? I mean, some people have been wearing them like that, but we don't recommend it necessarily.
Perfect. And then a question from Pauline. She sent this question just after you held up the slingbacks to show everyone.
Right.
She's asked, do all the shoes have pointed toes, or are there different toe shapes? I think we have since mentioned that they come in a variety of different toe shapes.
Yes, so the one I showed you before was almond shape. We do have pointy, but we also have square. So we try to offer a variety, and the square toes are very much coming into fashion. So we have put new square toe shapes in for this season as well. Yeah.
Perfect. And then a question from Barbara. She's wondering, do you only sell online, or do you have any shops or sell in any shops?
We only sell online, but we do take orders by telephone as well. And we do have customer service by telephone. So yes, it is an online company.
Okay, perfect. Yes, I thought that was the case, just to check. And then a question from, sorry, lots of questions. A question from Dorothy. She's saying that she suffers from, and I'm so sorry if I say this wrong, but plantar fasciitis. And she's saying, would your slingback heels be an option for her, as often she does have heel pain?
I would say yes, definitely try them. We actually did a survey recently, and we were very interested to find out that 17% of our respondents, and there were a lot of respondents, suffer from plantar fasciitis. So it definitely does help to have all this padding under the heel and all the way down the shoes. So yes, by all means. It wasn't how we designed the shoes originally, but we certainly found that we are, we are helping people with this problem. So yes, definitely.
Perfect. And a question from Jill. She would like to know where the shoes are manufactured.
Oh, very good question. So they are all manufactured in Italy and Spain. Our boots, our trainers, and the sandals that are coming out are all manufactured in Italy, in our factory in Italy. And our elegant shoes are in Spain. And they are artisans, actually. Both factories are, real craftsmanship, and factories that I've been working with for well, more than 20 years. So yes, lovely family-run businesses. In fact, the Italian factory is all women. It's 5 sisters, which is actually a delight to work with. Yeah.
Quite a few questions about sizing, so I'll just pick out a couple. But Jill would like to know, do your shoes, do you think they run true to size, and do you offer half sizes?
Half sizes, yes, on everything apart from the trainers and wedges, because we can't get the units in half sizes, but everything else absolutely for the perfect fit. And most of our shoes fit as you would expect your foot to be. So if you think you're a 5, but over the years you've slipped up to a 5.5 or 6 because your feet are a certain shape or a bit wider, we would say try the 5. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
perfect.
Can I just say on sizing before you go on, Bridie? So I'm a 38.5 on my right foot, which is the one I have to fit, and I find your shoes are very true to that 38. And I had started, because my feet have got so much wider and more challenging to fit, I had started going to a 39 just to make them more comfortable, but I don't need to do that with Sole Bliss. They are definitely 38, so I think they're true to fit.
Perfect.
That's great to hear.
Someone has asked if they purchase the trainers and they aren't the right size. I know you mentioned it earlier, but just to reiterate, you do have a returns policy, don't you? So they can return them to you.
Absolutely. We have 40 days to return them. It's a really simple and free free process with the post office. Just simply pop on the label that we give you with the package and take them to the post office, and absolutely for returns, for refunds or for exchanges.
Perfect. And then just one final question, and again, this one is on sizing. Do you have any sort of size guide on your website that can help people work out what size shoes they should be buying?
I think, first of all, if they're in any doubts, to call us, okay, or to email us. Generally, people do know what size they think they are. It's unlikely that at a certain age you don't know what you think your feet are. And I think the important thing is just to think of whether you've been changing recently and for what reason you've been changing. But by all means to call us, because we do think more or less we are the size that you would expect, as Tricia's just said, you know. Yeah,
absolutely.
So.
And that brochure that Tricia showed earlier, is that something that people can request online?
Absolutely, or they can, again, they can call and we send it out so they can have a look through. Yes, yes, and it comes with every pair of shoes as well. So if you wanted to see, you wanted to buy a particular pair but wanted to have a look through, it's always in the box. Okay. And it changes often, changes very often.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I'll pass back to Tricia now.
Thank you.
I saw a question pop up, which Bryony probably hadn't seen, which is about Brexit. So you're dealing with Italy. Any issues there now?
No, the answer is for bringing the shoes. We've been working together for so long with our factories that we have actually weekly deliveries. So no, you just need to get your paperwork in order, and no, we're finding it's fine. I would say the first couple of weeks of January, I don't know about yourself, but yes, it was challenging with the paperwork for sure. But no, it's good. It works well.
Gosh, that's good to hear.
on the way out, we also do sell all around the world, obviously, like yourself. On the way out, we have now got a new website which allows people to see if there are any duties payable around the world for when we ship out. They see it before they purchase, so it's added in the basket, so people can make that choice, because obviously there are duties payable on the other side when we ship to the EU now. But yes, on the way in, it's been surprisingly smooth. I shouldn't say too much.
Good. Well, long may that continue. I hope it does. I just want to mention that we've got a special offer that you've offered, which is a code which is LFF10 for 10% off all your range until May the 13th. That's just an exclusive code for Look Fabulous Forever people. So just remember that if you would like to try a pair of Sole Bliss shoes, LFF10, and that runs and will only run until May the 13th, and then that discount will come off. And we did talk about this on Friday. You don't normally discount your shoes, so it is very definitely an exclusive offer for those people.
It is very exclusive for you, Tricia, yes, and for your customers. No, we don't discount the brand. I think I was saying in my group that we do continue certain styles and elaborate on them and develop them over a period. We don't have seasons as such. We are ongoing with our styling, and for that reason, yes, we don't discount. We sometimes have the odd few which we want to say goodbye to make room for new styles, but it's not a sale and it's not a discounted product, I'm afraid. So yes, just for your customers today.
Yeah, okay, until May the 13th.
I think it's a month. I think somebody somewhere, it's not myself, has decided it's 1 month, ladies.
Yeah. All right, Lisa, thank you very much indeed. And I would say to all of you watching this, if you want pretty, feminine, extremely comfortable shoes which will allow you to wear nice clothes and feel dressed up and feel good, then this is the answer, and certainly was the answer to several prayers that I had. And when I discovered Sole Bliss shoes, it was I was so relieved that I could buy shoes like that. So thank you, Lisa.
Thank you for your time, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, thanks for designing such beautiful shoes, and thanks to all of you for coming and listening and joining in. And it's been a pleasure, as always, to have your company. Yeah, see you next Tuesday on the next Zoom call that we have. We've got a bit of a treat for you next week. We've got a super trooper who's into the Georgian Society in Bath, and I think she's going to appear dressed as a lady from the the Georgian era, and she does quite a lot of these events. She's an amazing woman, absolutely wonderful. So we're going to hear all about that, and that's something to look forward to. So I hope you'll join us for that. So again, thank you, Lisa, and bye bye everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you, ladies.